It's your girl, your host, Jocelyn, y como siempre, I am so grateful you are here. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. I am so grateful for your consistent presence in this podcast community, and I'm so honored that you keep coming back for more. And for those of you who are new here, who are listening to an episode in this podcast for the first time, welcome again. I am so grateful you are here, so grateful you are gifting this podcast a chance, and I pray that this episode you are listening to inspires you to tune into more episodes and explore this podcast. And I pray that each and every single one of you walk away from these episodes, from this podcast, feeling like you've gained more clarity, more confidence, more comfort in some way, shape, or form that assists you in navigating your human experience, your spiritual experience. And I really just want to let it be known that my intention here is for us to journey through expansion together, to grow together. And I'm really excited to do that with you. I really wholeheartedly believe and know that this podcast community is bringing together such a beautiful group of people who are dedicated to expanding their conscious awareness, to self-improvement, to overall self-awareness, to healing and awakening and confronting the truth and shedding illusions. And I am just so honored to bring us all together and to have these conversations with you. So thank all of you for being here. If you enjoy this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts and write a review, share a rating. It helps spread the word on this podcast and gift this podcast more visibility on the app. And share this podcast with your loved ones, with your homies. Allow some of these podcasts to bring forth conversation and dialogue and contemplation between you and those you love. Because again, we're all in this together. And if this podcast, if this space, if these conversations have been resourceful to you, then perhaps it may be resourceful to someone else. This episode, this conversation is a conversation I've been excited, been eager to have with you because I feel like it is regarding something that many of us have been confronting. And that confrontation in this conversation is in regards to our self-worth. I am so grateful to be healing my sense of self-worth because our sense of self-worth impacts and influences our lives in ways that we are not even aware of. And it's important that we gain more conscious awareness of that. So hopefully this conversation assists you in that expansion of your conscious awareness regarding your worthiness. Let me start here. When you don't wholeheartedly know what you are worthy of, you will settle for less. You will settle for a life that is less than you deserve. And I say wholeheartedly because you can have an idea or an understanding of what you are worthy of, but it isn't until you really, really know it with your heart that you'll actually integrate and implement your worthiness into your life and how you respond to life and how you show up in life. Healing my sense of self-worth has been a journey over the years, especially in my adulthood and specifically over the past couple of years as I've been the most consciously aware and the most intentional of my healing, my awakening, myself. What I feel really inspired the healing of my sense of self-worth was my deep yearning to understand why I was experiencing experiences that I don't feel I deserve and that I don't desire in my relationships, in my career, in my overall well-being, as well as why I was feeling feelings of unworthiness, specifically again over the past couple of years, as I lost so much as a result of the pandemic. My deep yearning to understand and desire to learn, by the way, has not only helped me heal my sense of self-worth, but has helped me vibrate higher in more ways than one. What's important for us to understand on our journey of healing our sense of self-worth is that we grew up in a world where we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that we need to prove our value and our worthiness. We grew up in a world where we are not innately worthy. But the truth is that we are innately worthy. The truth is that we do not have to prove our value and our worthiness in any way, shape, or form. And because we grew up in a world like this, our innate value and our worthiness was taken from us and became dependent on our achievements, on our performance, on our external circumstances, which, by the way, this doesn't solely apply to our value and our worth, but also our joy and other states of being of the like. If you're going to take anything from this conversation, take the truth that you are worthy simply because you are. Take the truth that your value and your worthiness is not dependent on your achievements, on your performance, on your external circumstances. Take the truth that when you decide to no longer allow the outside world to determine your worthiness, you are taking your power back and you are liberating yourself. Take the truth that when your worthiness becomes unconditional, you are taking your power back and you are liberating yourself. Now, let's get into the fullness of this conversation. Here's what we're going to get into. I'm going to be sharing some affirmations with you all on worthiness, and these affirmations of worthiness are the main aspects of my self-worth that I have been healing through and working through and leaning into. So I'm going to be expanding on these affirmations, but as you listen to me share these affirmations, I encourage you to apply these affirmations and speak these affirmations over yourself and your life, specifically the ones that really resonate with you and call to you and speak to you and your heart and your spirit, because again, y'all, we're in this together. Okay, so listen to this with the openness of, you perhaps also feeling inspired to affirm these affirmations of self-worth for yourself. Then I'm going to transition into how I have been healing my sense of self-worth, and my intention in sharing this with you all is that, hopefully you walk away from this conversation having an idea, having some tools, and some of the ways in which you can heal your own sense of self-worth. Then I'm going to share what happens when you heal your sense of self-worth, which is so important for us to acknowledge and touch on in this conversation. And lastly, I'm going to share a few reflectional prompts with you all that I encourage you to contemplate. So let's begin with these affirmations. I am worthy of experiencing my highest potentials, and therefore, I am worthy of change and transformation. I am worthy of starting over. I am worthy of allowing myself to be a beginner. I am worthy of non-judgment. I am worthy of allowing myself to make mistakes. I am worthy of learning from my mistakes. I am worthy of doing better when I know better. I am worthy of holding myself accountable. I am worthy of showing up as my best, whatever that looks like on each given day, and allowing my best to be enough. I am worthy of expansion. I share all of this because all of this is a part of experiencing your highest potentials. All of this is a part of the journey towards your highest potentials. I'd also like to note that this affirmation, this declaration of worthiness, is special and significant to me because I tell myself this affirmation almost daily because it motivates me to show up as my best and to keep showing up as my best. It motivates my consistency. And it reminds me that if I really wholeheartedly believe I am worthy of experiencing my highest potentials and I am devoted to honoring that, then I must allow change to happen in my life. I must allow the deaths and rebirths of evolution to happen in my life. I am worthy of truth. I am worthy of my true self, and I am worthy of the true self in others. And therefore, I am worthy of accepting myself as I am and accepting others as they are. I am worthy of showing up as I am and allowing others to show up as they are. I am worthy of confronting the truth and allowing the truth to confront me. I am worthy of allowing myself to experience all of me, shadows and light. And I am worthy of allowing others to experience all of me, shadows and light. I am worthy of allowing any and all of my emotions to arise and present themselves as they do, and I am worthy of feeling the truth of my emotions. I am worthy of clarity because, y'all, there is no clarity without the truth. As I've significantly and profoundly healed and awakened, truth has become so deeply sacred to me. I revere the truth, I honor the truth, I cherish the truth, including the truths that are uncomfortable and undesirable to my ego. To be honest, I come from a family that's full of skeletons in the closet, full of emotions and experiences swept under the rug, full of toxic masculinity and suppressed femininity. And the truth has become something so incredibly discomforting and even seemingly forbidden to confront. Being open and being truthful and being vulnerable in my family is honestly an act of great courage and bravery. Growing up, I was always a truthful child, outwardly truthful, and I continued to be so throughout my life. And it caused me to be the outcast of my family, the odd one out, the black sheep, if you will, even the troublemaker because I wasn't conforming, I was different, I was truthful. To this day, when I bring up truths, I witness the discomfort and the avoidance in my family. And this normalcy in the environment I was raised in, which, by the way, let's also acknowledge that we have all been raised in a society, in a world full of lies and illusions, has manifested itself into the attraction of dishonest relationships and experiences, and also being raised in these kinds of environments that make confronting the truth and being truthful very uncomfortable and at times even unsafe, can make you believe that the truth is wrong or the truth is something you don't openly express or openly welcome. And again, I am worthy of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Because again, as I've significantly and profoundly healed and awakened, I've come to know and see the truth as divine and as God. I am worthy of unconditional love, unconditional joy, unconditional faith. And therefore, I am worthy of a love that does not waver, a joy that does not waver, a faith that does not waver. I am worthy of being in love, in joy, in faith, in all seasons of my life, in all iterations of me. I am worthy of feeling safe, stable, and secure in love, in joy, in faith. I am worthy of relationships that naturally offer unconditional love, unconditional joy, and unconditional faith. I grew up in a conditional life. Many of us did. And that's why so many of us have such strained relationships with our self-worth and our self-esteem. Love was conditional. Joy was conditional. Faith was conditional. Worthiness was conditional. Many of us also grew up in a reward punishment system. If we were good, if we were attractive, if we were high performing, if we were obedient, if we were quiet, then we were rewarded with love, with joy, with faith, with worthiness. And if we weren't, then we were punished. And love, joy, faith, worthiness were taken away from us. So we grew up believing that love, joy, faith, worthiness were all things that we need to earn. What I've really been working on integrating is the truth that no matter what I've done or haven't done, I am worthy of love. No matter what I have or don't have, I am worthy of love. No matter what I've done or haven't done, I am worthy of joy. No matter what I have or don't have, I am worthy of joy. No matter what I've done or haven't done, I am worthy. No matter what I have or don't have, I am worthy. And I am consistently reminding myself of this whenever I catch myself feeling unworthy because my external circumstances don't look a certain way, or I don't look a certain way, or my performance isn't attractive, or my achievements aren't as outwardly present. I refuse to keep vibrating at a frequency where love, joy, faith, worthiness are conditional. My whole life can seemingly be falling apart. I can seemingly be falling apart, and I am still worthy of love, of joy, of faith, of worthiness. Period. I am worthy of reciprocation. And therefore, when I give, I am worthy to receive. And when I receive, I am worthy to give. I am worthy of balance. I am worthy of walking away from what receives and does not give. I am worthy of walking away from what gives and does not receive. I am worthy of receiving the love I give, the support I give, the peace I give, the energy I give. I am worthy of reciprocated energy. All I'm going to say is, I've had enough experiences where I am giving, showing up, pouring, and not being poured back into. I wholeheartedly know now that I am not my best. I am not in alignment with my highest potential when I am moving through life dehydrated. I am a hydrated woman, and that hydration requires being poured into. It requires reciprocation. I am worthy of receiving. I am worthy of receiving help. I am worthy of receiving support. I am worthy of receiving love. I am worthy of receiving compliments. I am worthy of receiving praise. I am worthy of receiving opportunity. I am worthy of receiving money. I am worthy of receiving. And also, I am worthy of not overgiving. When we don't wholeheartedly know we are worthy of receiving the way we give and beyond, we end up overgiving. And often we overgive because we feel we are only worthy of receiving if we do so. But we are worthy of receiving with ease. I am worthy of ease. And therefore, I am worthy of effortlessness and not efforting all the time. I am worthy of allowing myself to surrender, and I am worthy of trusting surrender. I am worthy of slowing down and not rushing. I am worthy of resting and replenishing. I am worthy of stillness. I am worthy of not chasing and allowing what's meant for me to align to me in divine time. I'd like to emphasize a couple experiences regarding ease and my worthiness of ease. One is the not chasing part. I am worthy of a love I do not have to chase. I am worthy of affection I do not have to chase. I am worthy of intimacy I do not have to chase. I am worthy of energy I do not have to chase. This one's deep because I have noted chasing to be a cyclical wound in my lineage. Chasing relationships, chasing money, chasing joy, chasing love, chasing, and becoming depleted by all the chasing. And that depletion turning into feelings of lack, feelings of scarcity, feelings of inadequacy, feelings of codependency, feelings of unworthiness. And I've noted this cyclical wound show up in all my past romantic relationships. I chased for love, for affection, for intimacy, for clarity, all because I ultimately didn't wholeheartedly know I am worthy of ease. And 2 is the slowing down and resting part. I have spent most of my young life and basically all of my young adult life rushing and overworking myself because I believed that my value and my worth came from my performance and my achievements, which I'm sure many of you can relate to, especially those of you who are Black and brown, and especially those of you who are children of immigrants. And because many of my childhood experiences made me feel unworthy, I subconsciously spent years trying to prove that I am worthy through my performance and my achievements. So when I wasn't performing and I wasn't achieving to worldly standards, feelings of not being valuable and not being worthy would arise. Also, whenever I did slow down and when I did rest, I similarly felt like I was losing my value and my worthiness as a result. And this was definitely triggered during the pandemic where I was forced to slow down, forced to be more restful. Thoughts and feelings of unworthiness would arise and hence contributed to this healing journey of my sense of self-worth. I am worthy of being honored. I am worthy of being honored by myself, first and foremost, and I am worthy of being honored by others. And not in a conceited, holier than thou kind of way, but in an awakened kind of way that acknowledges the truth that I am an honor to experience because I am a once in a lifetime. Don't play with me, my time, my energy, because me, my time, and my energy are sacred. I honor me, my time, and my energy, and I am worthy of experiences that match that energy. Whew. So let's get into how I am healing my sense of self-worth. In no chronological order. 1, I'm healing my sense of self-worth through self-awareness and collective awareness. It is ultimately through acknowledging where and how I feel unworthy, as well as why I feel unworthy, that I am able to heal my sense of self-worth, because you can't heal what you're not consciously aware of. So self-awareness and collective awareness are key. And putting that conscious awareness into practice is essential. Again, we can be consciously aware of our worthiness, but if we're not putting that awareness into practice, if we're not putting that worthiness into practice, then what good is the awareness really? 2, I am healing my sense of self-worth through inner child healing and ancestral healing. A lot of the answers and clarity we seek when it comes to what it is that we are healing are found in our inner child and ancestral history. So studying our history is incredibly essential. I have spent a lot of time conversing with both my inner child and my ancestors. And as I've shared in various parts throughout this conversation, I have found it to be true that a lot of where my low sense of self-worth comes from and stems from and is rooted in is from, cyclical generational wounds and patterns and cycles, as well as experiences from my childhood and the environment of which I was raised in. So again, studying our history is incredibly essential to both expanding our self-awareness as well as to healing our sense of self-worth. 3, identifying low self-esteem and fear. Both our low self-esteem and fear may be rooted again in our inner child and ancestral history. The low self-esteem and fears we have now may be the low self-esteem and fears of our inner child and or of our ancestors. Me becoming aware of both what my low self-esteem has been and where it has come from has allowed me to affirm and restore my sense of self-worth. 4, focusing on my greatness and goodness. It is true that where our attention goes, energy grows. So the more we focus on our unworthiness, the more we'll feel unworthy. The same is true that the more we focus on our worthiness, the more we'll feel worthy. And for me, what has really made me feel worthy is focusing on my greatness and my goodness. Really taking the time to acknowledge all the greatness I am, all the goodness I am, the miracle I am, the divinity I am, the light I am, the godliness I am has amplified my sense of self-worth. All the times I've fallen and gotten back up. All the times I've loved and loved again. And also simply the truth that I am a child of God. I am created by the same creator that created all the universe. That's pretty great and pretty special to me, to simply be me, be here, be alive. 5, prioritizing learning over performance and result. As I mentioned earlier in this conversation, my deep yearning to understand and desire to learn has not only helped me heal my sense of self-worth, but has helped me vibrate higher in more ways than one. When we prioritize learning over any and everything else, we are essentially prioritizing growth and the expansion of our conscious awareness. And therefore, when we make a mistake or when we quote unquote fail or when things don't go our way or when we aren't accepted by others, rather than resorting to feelings of unworthiness, we resort to the opportunity to learn from the experience. Whereas when we prioritize performance and result over learning, we are more likely to determine our value and our worth by our performance and result. Also, I'd like to just add that when you do prioritize learning over any and everything else, you become someone who values and appreciates the journey more than the destination. Lastly, my spiritual practice. My spiritual practice has helped me heal my sense of self-worth because when you are in tune with your spirit, you are in tune with the truth, and you are in tune with the truth that you are worthy. When you are in alignment with spirit, then you are in alignment with truth, and you are in alignment with the truth that you are worthy just as you are, simply because you are. So what happens when you heal your sense of self-worth? Let's dive into this. You stop chasing, and you especially stop chasing what's running away from you. You stop seeking external validation. You stop trying to prove yourself to be worthy. You reclaim your power, your sovereignty, your honor, because you know your worthiness is innate. You liberate yourself. Your worthiness is no longer dependent on external circumstances. So your worthiness becomes unconditional. It isn't defined or dependent on your achievements or what you have to offer or what your life looks like. Your worthiness becomes stable and consistent. You stop blocking yourself from receiving what you deserve because you aren't settling for less. You prioritize yourself. You prioritize your well-being, your needs, your worthiness. And you raise your vibration because you become more confident. You believe in yourself more. You naturally begin to love yourself and take care of yourself more because you know you're worthy. And therefore, you begin to attract higher vibrational experiences that match your sense of self-worth. Whoo! Y'all, we're about to get into these reflectional prompts that are going to bring this conversation to a close. We got into a lot in this conversation, haven't we? Man, all right. I can't leave you without some reflectional prompts that, again, I encourage you to contemplate. I have 3 prompts for you. 1, what is my current sense of self-worth? What is my current sense of self-worth? And these are all prompts that you really got to sit with, right? If you are listening to this episode while in traffic, on your way to work, on your lunch break, and you don't have that moment to really sit with yourself and sit with this prompt, then I encourage you to revisit this when you do have that moment and that space. But what is your current sense of self-worth? Like, really ask yourself that and get clear on that. 2, where is my current sense of self-worth rooted from? Okay, so now you know what your current sense of self-worth is. Where is it rooted from? Where does it come from? What does it stem from? Where is my current sense of self-worth rooted from? And as you explore this, which by the way is going to be a journey, okay? It's not just going to be something that, you get all the answers right now as you sit with this question. It's a journey. All of this, healing your sense of self-worth, is a lifetime journey. And on that note, as we journey and as we evolve, we can be revisiting these prompts and asking ourselves about our current sense of self-worth. Because as we evolve, so does our sense of self-worth evolve. Again, a lot of clarity, perhaps some of which may be uncomfortable, will come from you answering this question. And lastly, 3, how has my current sense of self-worth impacted my life? How has my current sense of self-worth impacted my life? Because the truth is, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this conversation, our sense of self-worth impacts and influences our life in so many ways that we're not even aware of. And it's important that we take the time and that we be intentional about expanding our conscious awareness of it. How has my current sense of self-worth impacted my life? Community, thank you again for sharing space with me and having this conversation with me and being open to receiving this conversation with me. I am, again, so grateful for you, so grateful for the people that make up this community. Again, you are worthy simply because you are, just as you are. And I pray that you are walking away from this episode, from this conversation, with more confidence, more clarity, more comfort in any way, shape, or form. If this episode touched you, share it with someone who you feel it may touch as well. And if it really did move you in your spirit, then again, I would highly appreciate you heading on over to Apple Podcasts, search the Starting With Gratitude page, scroll down and find the stars and comment box waiting for you to share a rating and review and let the people know how this episode moved you. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to our next conversation. Peace, love, and so much gratitude. Your girl, your host, Jocelyn.